The night was cold. The rain fell hard on the metal roof of Jack's small home. He lived far from the city alone. No visitors, no noise. Just him, his tools, and the quiet red soil of Mars. Jack sat in his chair, sipping his last packet of warm coffee. Outside, the storm grew louder. Red dust mixed with acid rain, pounding against the windows. Then he heard it knock. Knock. Jack froze. No one ever came here. Who would be out there in this weather? Another knock, slow, soft, like someone. Weak. Jack stood up. He moved to the door and pressed the scanner. The screen blinked. Life form detected. Unknown. Strange, Jack muttered. No one from Earth, that's for sure. He opened the door, and then his heart stopped. There in the rain was a small bundle, wrapped in a torn silver cloth. It moved. It cried. A baby. Not human. Its skin was light blue. Its eyes glowed faintly. Two tiny horns peeked from its soft head. Jack looked around. No footprints. No ship. Nothing. Just the baby, alone. Crying, he stepped outside, picked it up, and brought it inside. It was freezing cold. He quickly wrapped it in a heat blanket and scanned it. The scanner blinked again. Species, unknown. Gender, female. Health, weak but stable. Jack stared at the baby in shock. What are you, little one? The baby opened her eyes, bright green. She stopped crying and looked at him calmly. Then she reached out and touched his face. Warmth spread through. Jack's skin. Strange. Peaceful. He sighed and whispered, "You've got some nerve showing up here, kid?" But he smiled. An hour passed. Jack fed her with a dropper and held her close. Her body gave off a soft hum, almost musical. Then he noticed something. A small metal tag tied to her wrist. He turned it over. It wasn't in any human language, but one symbol glowed clearly. Help. Jack's eyes narrowed. This isn't random, he said. Someone left you here, Mother, on purpose. He stood up, went back outside, and checked the ground. After a few steps, he saw it barely. Footprints, small, light, bare feet. Leading away into the rocky hills. Whoever left the baby was injured, maybe dying. Jack ran inside, grabbed his coat, a medkit, and a flashlight. He looked back at the baby, now asleep on his old couch. "I'll be back," he promised. "I won't leave her alone. Not again." The storm was worse now. Jack followed the faint trail up the ridge. His boots slipped on wet stone. His lungs burned in the thin air. But he kept going. The trail led to a small crater, half covered by a rock slide. There, lying under a broken piece of hull, was her tall, thin, pale blue skin. Long dark hair, deep wound across her chest, an alien woman. She opened her eyes slowly. When she saw Jack, she tensed, weak, but ready to fight. "I'm not your enemy," Jack said quickly. "I found the child." At the word child, her body relaxed. She tried to speak, but her voice was soft, shaking. "Is she safe?" Jack nodded. "She's alive. Warm, with me." A tear rolled down the alien woman's cheek. She whispered, "Please, protect her. They're coming." "Who?" Jack asked. But she passed out. Jack carried her back. She was light. Too light, starving. Wounded by the time they returned to his cabin. The rain had stopped. The stars were out now. He laid her next to her daughter and began treating her wounds. She woke up once, looked at both of them, and smiled. "You?" "Kind," she said. For a human, Jack didn't reply. He just wrapped a blanket around her and watched as both mother and child slept soundly. Outside the house, far in the sky, something blinked, a red signal light. Hidden from Earth sensors. Watching the sun rose over Mars, casting a red glow across the land. Jack stood at his door, staring at the footprints. They were light, like someone walking barefoot. The rain from last night had erased most of them, but a few still remained half-prints in the red mud. Heading toward the rocky hills, inside his cabin, the alien baby slept, her tiny body glowing softly. The alien woman, the mother, was alive, but weak. She hadn't spoken since last night. Jack grabbed his boots and a small pack. "I need answers," he whispered. He looked at the baby once more. Then at the sleeping mother. "I'll be back," he said. The trail was hard to follow. The morning wind blew red dust into the air, covering the prints. Jack used his eyes, his scanner, and his instincts. He moved fast. Every few meters, he found small clues, drops of dark blue blood, broken branches from Martian thorns, even a torn piece of the silver baby blanket. Jack's mind raced. Why would a mother leave her child in the rain? Who was she running from? What did she mean by their coming? He didn't like the silence in the hills. It felt too quiet. Then he found something that made his heart stop. A burn mark, deep, circular. Fresh. It wasn't from a rockfall or lightning. This was ship fire. Jack knelt down, touched the blackened soil. A scout. "Drone?" he whispered. He looked up and saw it, high on the ridge. Something moved. It was metal, floating. Watching, Jack ducked fast behind a rock. The small ship was unlike anything he'd seen before. Sharp edges, red lights. It hovered in place, scanning the area. Then it let out a high-pitched sound like a whistle and zipped away. Deeper into the hills, Jack stayed low for a minute. Then he stood. They're already here. Back at the cabin, the alien mother woke. She tried to sit up, but groaned in pain. The baby cooed beside her, touching her face gently. She smiled weakly. "My child, safe." Then she heard something, a whisper. In her mind, not words, images. Jack. Running, hiding, danger. She closed her eyes. Her body glowed for a second. She could feel him. Jack was running now. The scout drone had called others. He heard engines in the sky, too. Dark shapes flew overhead, silent but fast. They didn't see him. He kept moving, ducking into a cave. Inside, the air was colder, wet, echoing. Then he saw them. Footprints, big ones, not from the mother, not from him. Clawed feet, 4 toes. Heavy steps. Something else was here. He backed away slowly. Then he heard it. A growled dot from deeper inside the cave. Glowing red eyes appeared low, close to the ground. And fast, Jack turned and ran. The creature lunged outside the cave. The drone returned. It saw Jack. The creature chased him. The drone paused, scanned them both, then fired, not at Jack, at the creature. The beam hit its back. The creature screamed and vanished into the dust. Jack rolled to the ground, panting. The drone hovered above him, blinking. Then it scanned him. Beep, double quotes, human. Level 0 threat, no value. It flew off. Jack stared at the sky. "No value," he whispered. "Good, stay that way." He returned home by sunset, dusty, tired, bleeding from a scrape. He opened the door. The alien woman sat up slowly, the baby in her lap. She looked at him with grateful eyes. "You came back." Jack nodded. "I found a drone. They're here." She lowered her head. "They want her, my daughter." "Why?" "She is royal, a gift born during war. The others are rulers. They fear her. She has power to break them." Jack frowned. "She's just a baby. For now." He reached out and touched his hand. "I trust you, Jack. You saved her. You saved me." Jack didn't know what to say. No one had trusted him in years. That night, he sat alone. Outside, the stars were bright. Quiet. Too quiet. He checked his scanner again. One red dot, orbiting Mars. Waiting then. It blinked. Another ship just arrived. He whispered to himself, "They're not giving up." Behind him, the baby laughed for the first time. A soft sound, hopeful. Jack looked at the door. "I won't let them take you," he whispered. He stood up. It was time to prepare. Waiting. The knock came at noon. Not soft, not slow. This time, it was loud, sharp. Official Jack froze. He looked at the alien mother and baby, sitting quietly on the bed. The knock came again. Bang, bang, bang. A voice followed. Cold, male, human. Jack Halter. "Open the door. Mars Border Security." Jack's heart pounded. The baby blinked. Her soft green eyes now glowed bright yellow. She could feel danger. Jack whispered to the mother, "Take her. Hide in the storage pod. Stay quiet. Don't come out." "Unless I say," the alien woman nodded. No fear in her eyes, only trust. Jack opened the door. Two men stood outside. One was tall, clean-shaven, and wore black armor with a red patch on the shoulder. "Ms. Mars Border Security." The other wore a suit. Slim, pale, no smile. The man in the suit stepped forward. "Mr. Halter, I'm Agent Cole. We're investigating alien activity in this region. Unregistered craft. Unauthorized landings. You've seen anything strange?" Jack shrugged. "Just dust and rocks." Cole looked past him into the house. "Mind if we take a look?" Jack crossed his arms. "You got a warrant." The soldier reached for his blaster. Cole raised a hand. "No need for trouble. We're just doing our job." Jack didn't move. "I said no," he repeated. Cole smiled, a thin, cold smile. "You always were stubborn, Jack. Lost your license because of it, didn't you?" Jack didn't reply. Cole stepped closer. "You used to be a good engineer. Now you live out here, hiding from the world. Why?" Jack said nothing. Cole leaned in, whispered, "We know someone landed here. Someone not from Earth." Jack stared into his eyes. "I don't know what you're talking about." The soldier shifted his weight. "Ready?" Cole studied Jack's face, then smiled again. "All right, we'll be back with that warrant." He turned and walked away. But before leaving, he looked back and said, "Be careful who you protect." Jack, some lives are worth more than others. Then they were gone. Inside, the baby cried. Jack opened the storage pod. The alien mother stepped out, holding her close. "They know," she whispered. Jack nodded. "They'll return." The baby glowed brighter. "She senses fear," the mother said. "Your fear, mine, their hate." Jack sat down, rubbing his temples. He had a choice. He could call it in. Let the officials take them. Go back to his quiet life. Or he could do the impossible. Protect them. Night fell. Jack pulled out his old gear. A broken scanner, a tool gun, a rusted drone. Memories of the past. He fixed what he could. Patched the rest. In the back of his shed sat his old escape pod, small, cracked, hidden under blankets. "Not flight ready," he muttered. But maybe, just maybe. The alien mother watched him work. "You're risking everything," she said. Jack didn't. "Look up." "I already lost everything. Maybe this is how I get it back." She walked to him. "You're different from the others." Jack paused. "Because I care?" "No," she said gently. "Because you're not afraid to say no?" Hours later, his radar beeped. 3 ships. Approaching fast. Too soon. Jack whispered. He ran to the cabin. "They're coming," he said. The mother held her baby tight. "We need to go now." Jack pointed to the pod. "We'll take the side tunnel, launch from the ravine." She looked at him. "Where will we go?" Jack stared at the sky. Somewhere they won't follow. Somewhere cold, empty, but safe. They moved fast. Jack carried the gear. The mother carried the baby. As they reached the ravine, lights filled the sky. Red, blue, blinding. The ships landed near Jack's home. Soldiers jumped out. Cole stood at the center. "Find them," he said. In the ravine, the pod powered up. Jack connected the fuel lines. The mother placed the baby in a safety pod. Suddenly, dash, beep, beep. A tracking signal. Jack looked around. "No. They tagged me." He opened his tool gun and ripped the tracker from his jacket. He crushed it with his boot. The pod's lights turned green. "Ready?" he said. She held his hand. "No turning back now," she whispered. Jack nodded. "I said no, and I meant it." The pod launched, just as soldiers reached the edge of the ravine. Cole stared at the rising flame, his face calm. "Let them go," he said. A soldier looked confused. "Sir," Cole smiled. "They won't survive out there." But Jack would. Because, this time, he had something to fight for. The escape pod shot through the thin Martian air, leaving fire behind. Jack held tight to the controls. Beside him, the alien mother kept her baby close, wrapped in silver fabric. The baby's glow pulsed faster, nervous. Alert below them, the Earth soldiers were shrinking to dots. But Jack knew this wasn't the end, it was the beginning. The pod's radar blinked red. Unknown signal detected. Jack stared at the screen. Something above Mars was waiting. Something. Not human. Far above, hidden behind Mars' shadow, a ship floated like a silent shark. Not a human ship. No lights, no name. Just dark metal and glowing veins. Inside, alien figures moved slowly, almost like smoke-wearing armor. One of them stepped forward. "The child has left the surface." Another hissed, "Activate the beacon. She must not reach the outer moons." A third whispered, "She carries the old blood. If she awakens, we fall." A green orb lit up at the ship's center. A message fired into deep space, coded in alien speech, impossible for humans to read. But it carried only one word: awaken. Back in the pod, Jack cursed under his breath. The engines were shaking. "We're not going to make it to the colony," he muttered. The mother placed her hand on the dashboard. Her fingers glowed slightly. The pod stabilized. Jack blinked. "You did that?" She nodded. "I can help, but not for long. My power is weak." Jack changed course. "Where are we going?" she asked. Jack pointed to the screen. "Europa, ice moon. Nobody lives there. No colony, just caves and silence. Good place to hide." She looked at her baby. "Then we go." Hours passed. The pod entered Europa's orbit, white. Endless ice stretched below them, shining, cold, quiet. They landed near a frozen ridge. Jack activated the camo shield, blending the pod into the ice. Then they moved inside a cave. Jack set up heat lamps and emergency walls. The alien mother, now stronger, wrapped her child in furs and fed her drops of glowing liquid. Jack watched. The baby. Her glow changed color slowly. Green to blue to white. "She's changing," he said. The mother nodded. "She is waking up. Her body grows fast. Her mind, too." Jack frowned. "What happens when she fully wakes?" The mother said nothing, but her silence gave him the answer. Later that night, Jack stepped outside. He looked up at the black sky. So many stars. He missed this view. Then he saw it. A flash, not a star, not a comet. Something entering orbit too smooth. Too fast, too alien. Jack ran inside. They're here. On the alien ship above Europa, the leader leaned toward the screen. Location found, life signatures. 3, 1 human, 1 royal. 1 carrier. Another creature snarled. Permission to descend. The leader nodded once. Take the pet with you. From the shadows, a massive figure stepped out, twice the size of Jack, wrapped in chains. Its eyes glowed red. The pet growled dot in the cave. The baby began to cry, but it was different this time. Not fear, warning. The cave shook. Jack grabbed his tool gun. Get behind me. The entrance glowed red. A shadow stepped inside. Not a man. Not a creature. Something worse, tall, with claws. And behind it, the pet chained. Breathing like thunder, Jack stepped forward. She's just a baby. The alien replied, she's a weapon. Jack raised his tool gun. You'll have to go through me. The alien laughed. Human, you are nothing. Then the pet roared and leaped. Time slowed. The baby screamed. A pulse of white light exploded from her body. The cave walls cracked. The alien attackers were thrown back. The pet crashed into the rocks. Stunned, Jack turned. The baby floated in the air, glowing, crying, eyes open wide and bright like suns. She spoke her first word, stop, and everything froze. Even the alien. Invaders, their leader stared in disbelief. She speaks. Already. The baby looked at Jack, then at her mother, and whispered, safe. The aliens fled. Even the pet backed away, growling. Afraid, Jack caught the baby in his arms as she slowly stopped glowing. He looked at the alien mother. She was crying. She's chosen you, she whispered. Jack stared down at the child. No. He said, she saved us all, but high above Europa. The alien ship sent a final signal far across the stars. Deep in the heart of a dying galaxy, a forgotten king opened his eyes. My daughter lives. He stood and screamed. The ice cracked beneath their feet. Jack stood at the edge of the cave, staring into the endless white. Above, stars burned cold. Behind him, the alien baby slept in a warm shell of light. They had survived. But Jack knew survival was never the end. Not here. Not with her. She's sleeping, the alien mother said, stepping beside him. Her voice was calm, but her eyes watched the sky. She saved us all, Jack said. And now, they know she can. The mother nodded. Which means, they'll return. Deep underground, the cave twisted into tunnels of blue ice. Jack led them through the narrow paths, deeper into the moon's core. He had scanned the area, no signals, no ships, no movement. For now, they were safe. They found an old mining station abandoned by explorers decades ago. Dusty, cold, but alive. Jack reconnected the power cells. Dim lights flickered on. Heat flowed through the walls. For the first time in days, it felt almost normal. He turned to the mother. This will work. She looked around. It's quiet. Good kind of quiet, Jack said. Not the hiding kind. The healing kind. She smiled softly. Then let's heal. For the next few days, they stayed hidden. Jack repaired the systems. He built new walls. He turned the dusty station into a home. The motherly aura taught him about her people, how they once ruled planets, not through war, but through energy and thought, how her baby, the last heir, was born from hope and fear, how the current rulers feared that hope and would kill to stop it. Jack listened. He didn't ask for this story, but now he couldn't walk away from. It thought the baby grew fast, not in size but in power. She began speaking more. One word at a time. Heat, cold, hurt, safe, Jack. Her voice was light. Her eyes shone with kindness. But sometimes, when she looked at the walls, they cracked. She needs control, Leora said. She needs time. Jack replied. She may not have time, Leora whispered. Then, the silence ended. It started with a hum. Jack was fixing the ceiling wires when he felt it. Vibration in the floor. He ran to the scanner. Signal detected. Direction? Below. Jack frowned. Below. Leora stared at the ice wall. There's something under us. Jack grabbed his gear. I'm going down. The lower tunnels were dark. Jack wore a light pack and carried a thermal cutter. The signal grew stronger. Not human, not alien either. He reached a frozen chamber. Inside, it's something strange. A machine, ancient, buried in ice. Still alive, he cleared the frost. On its side, he saw strange symbols, not hers, not Earth's. Something older. The machine glowed as he touched it, and spoke in a deep, soft voice. Are you the guardian? Jack blinked. What? She is awake. The heir of light, the last star. You must protect her. Jack stepped back. Who are you? We are what came before. Our time is over. Hers has begun. Suddenly, the ground shook. The machine's eye glowed red. They come from above and below. Jack ran back up. The baby stood in the middle of the room, still silent, glowing. Leora held her close. She saw it, she said. In her mind, ships, monsters, fire. Jack looked at the scanner. 2 blips above, 3 below. They're digging to us. Leora looked at Jack. We can't run again. I'm not running, Jack said. Not anymore. He turned to the baby. Can you help us? He asked gently. She looked at him, small, innocent, but her eyes, ancient. She nodded. The battle began under the ice. Tunnel exploded open. 2 clawed creatures crawled in, hunters from the alien throne, sent to kill the heir. Jack fired his tool gun. One blast hit a creature's eye. It screamed and fell. The second reached for the baby. She raised her hand. A burst of wind and light threw it across the room, slamming it into the wall. Ice cracked, thunder echoed, more enemies came. Jack fought with fire, wires, and traps. Leora used her voice to bend, light blinding them. The baby did not cry. She floated, calm, glowing like a star. Then the ground broke open from deep below. Shadow rose, massive, old, covered in metal bones. A machine beast, called by the enemy to crush them. Jack aimed his last. Shot. Click. Empty. The beast roared. The baby spoke one word. Sleep. And the beast froze. Its red eyes dimmed. It fell. Silence returned. Jack collapsed to his knees. Leora rushed to him. We won. He whispered. The baby floated into his arms. She smiled far across the stars. A black throne cracked. The alien king screamed. She grows stronger. The ice didn't move. The cave was still. But something was wrong. Jack felt it first. A cold pressure in his head. Not pain, but weight, like something was watching, listening. Waiting, he turned to Leora, the alien mother. She was holding the baby, whispering soft words in her language, but her eyes had gone wide. She feels it too. She whispered. Jack nodded. Something's coming. Far away, deep in space, the alien king stood before a frozen wall. The wall was alive, built from bones, metal, and dark energy. He raised his claw, unleashed the monster. The wall opened. A beast stepped forward. Huge, silent, covered in scars. Its eyes glowed purple with hate. Find the man. Find the mother. Kill the heir. On Europa, Jack fortified the cave entrance. He wired old mining lasers to the walls, built a shock trap from leftover metal, charged his last 2 energy cells. He looked around. 1 man, 1 alien mother, 1 glowing baby. No army. No backup. Only them. Leora stood beside him. "You can still leave," she said softly. Jack shook his head. "No. I said I'd protect her. Both of you." She looked at him, really looked. "You've already done more than most of my own people would." Jack gave a half smile. "Guess I'm not like most people." Then it came. A tremor. A deep, rising hum in the ice. The baby's glow turned red. She clung to her mother, eyes wide. From the ice tunnel, a shadow stepped through, tall, twisted, not like the others. Its arms were metal, its mouth full of broken teeth. On its chest, the mark of the king burned. Jack raised his tool gun. "You lost." The monster growled, but didn't attack. Instead, it spoke in perfect English. "You are no warrior, human." Jack's hands tightened. "No," he said. "But I'm still the one standing between you and them." The monster charged. Jack fired the first blast. It hit the creature's shoulder, barely slowed it. The trap lasers went off, cutting across its side. Sparks flew, but the beast kept coming. It slammed into Jack, sending him flying into the wall. Pain shot through Jack's ribs. He coughed blood. But he stood. Leora screamed, shielding the baby. The monster reached for them. Then Jack, Rordand, tackled it. Fist against metal, human against horror. Jack fought with everything. Old tools, his fists. His anger. The monster grabbed him by the neck and lifted him. "You're just a man," it growled. Jack gasped, blood running from his mouth. "I'm the wrong man to mess with." Suddenly, behind them, the baby began to glow, bright, pure, white. The monster dropped Jack and turned. The baby floated in the air. No fear, no tears, just light. She looked at the monster and raised her hand. No more. The cave exploded with energy. Walls cracked. Ice melted. The monster screamed as the light burned into its metal skin. It fell to its knees. Impossible. It tried to crawl away. The baby floated closer. Her voice echoed, "You hurt my mother." She reached out, touched its forehead, and the monster fell. Silent. Gone. Jack collapsed to the ground. Leora rushed to him, held his face. "Jack, please, stay awake." His eyes opened slowly. "I'm okay. Just need a nap." She laughed, crying. The baby floated down, curling into Jack's chest. "I think she likes you," Leora whispered. Jack looked at the child. "I think I like her too." Later, in the quiet, Jack sat beside a small fire. His ribs ached. His hands were cut. But he was alive. The baby slept nearby. Peaceful, Leora looked at Jack. "You stood alone against a monster. For us." Jack looked into the fire. "I was alone for years. I thought it would stay that way." He looked up at her. "Then you both showed up." She smiled, eyes wet, and changed everything. But far away, on a hidden moon. The alien king screamed. He slammed his fist into the floor. The monster failed. Around him, generals trembled. The king turned to his last weapon, a fleet. Thousands of warships. He raised his hand. "Burn Europa. Burn the human. Bring me my daughter." 1 year later, Europa's surface was still cold, silent, and hidden under miles of ice. But something had changed beneath it. Deep in the frozen tunnels, where once there was only darkness and fear, now there was life. Laughter echoed through the chambers. Small feet tapped across the floors, and a once lonely man stood smiling as a child with glowing eyes ran into his arms. Jack had changed. His face carried new scars. His shoulders were stronger. His heart no longer hollow. He had built more than walls and wires under the ice. He had built a home. The baby, now walking, talking, laughing, called him Dad. She wasn't human, but she was his. Her name was Arya. Leora, the alien mother, stood by the cave garden. She watched her daughter play with Jack, her smile soft, her eyes full. She no longer wore fear. She wore peace, peace earned through fire. And war. They had fought the monster. They had survived the dark, and now they had found a life between two worlds. But Jack knew it couldn't last forever. The scanner on the wall blinked. Quiet now, but watching. Always watching, no warships. In orbit, no soldiers. No beasts. But the signal from the king's fleet. It had never fully stopped. They were waiting. Waiting for a mistake. A trace. A signal. Jack kept the pod ready. Fuel full. Weapons hidden. But his heart stayed open. One day, as Arya chased glowing bugs across the ice room, she paused. Her eyes turned upward. Jack saw it too. A flicker in the sky. No sound. No warning. Just a shape. Leora, Jack called. They rushed to the scanner. One blip. Just one. Small ship, Jack muttered. Not a war cruiser. Leora touched the screen. Her eyes widened. It's not them. Then who? She looked at Jack. It's hers. The ship landed slowly, gently. Like a feather. It was unlike the king's ships. This one was silver. Soft, designed with light curves and warm lights. From the hatch, a single figure stepped out, tall, robed, glowing softly like Arya. Jack raised his weapon. You sure about this? Leora stepped in front of him. She's one of us. The figure stopped, removed her hood. Her face was calm, wise and kind. I am Tara, she said. Servant of the old blood. I came to kneel. She knelt before Arya. The child lives. The line is not broken. The kingdom will rise again. Jack was speechless. Arya held her small hand out to the stranger. Tara kissed it. I came to protect her. Jack said, carefully, not to put her on a throne. Tara looked up at him. Then you've already done more than any soldier, more than any king. Jack looked at Arya. She smiled at him. She didn't care about power or thrones. She cared about him, about her mother, about their home. He smiled back. She stays with us, he said. No crowns, no armies. Tara bowed her head. Of course. But when she is ready, the stars will follow her. That night, they sat by the fire again. T.E.Y. shared stories of the old kingdom, beautiful cities floating in gas clouds, songs made from stars, and minds that could bend light. Arya listened, eyes wide. But when Jack tucked her in, she whispered, I don't want to be a queen. Jack smiled. Good. I don't want to be a king either. She giggled. Then what are we? Jack kissed her forehead. A family. Far, far away, on a dying world. The alien king sat alone, his throne broken, his people silent. He stared at the stars. She had survived, but he no longer felt anger, only fear. Because the child had chosen love, and love was a weapon no empire could stop.